Hello, friends. Chris Kelly here. Hey, late in the week, so I wanted to make sure we got the weekly video out and took a look at what's going on with market data, what's going on in our local marketplace, Portland Metro, that is. Talk a little bit about what's going on nationally, because I always think that's important. And really, just again, kind of beat the drum on perception versus reality. And again, I'll come back to that little nugget in a minute. So let's start with the data this week. Like I said, um, another week of really good listing inventory. Not as much as last week. I think we were almost at 950 last week, but still good new listing numbers. As I keep saying, I would love to see these numbers here, break 1,000 for about 10 weeks straight. That would be super helpful. I'm just not sure it's going to happen. And again, this disparity right here in the new listings versus the ones that actually are coming to close tells me that right here there's some sale fails. I've talked about that. I think transactions tend to fall out because people and I've seen this, talked to other brokers about it, where somebody got into contract and then decided they got cold feet. That's the term we use in the industry all the time. You see it in the remarks. Buyer got cold feet. Well, why? A lot of times it's because they won. It's like, oh my God, I won. Maybe I paid too much. That's a natural thing to think when you're in a market that feels like it's shifting some. No question the market's shifting in its behavior and shifting in how it feels, and maybe the frenetic pace of the market isn't that way every single time with every single listing. Again, the numbers, there is a disparity in the numbers because you get down here into average and median days on the market, they're still anemic. They're super low, 5 median days, 16 on the average. And again, this average and median sales price number seems to be here to stay, or possibly even continuing this direction. And that speaks a little bit to, maybe the difference between what's going on in the market for real and how do people feel about it. Because you get a news nugget that the price, the market's slowing down. Instantly people think, well, prices must be coming down. And I hear a lot of, well, there's lots of price reductions. Well, that doesn't in and of itself mean that prices are coming down, just in and of itself. So, if real estate was appreciating at 18% and now it's appreciating at 8%, it's still appreciating. It's just appreciating at a different pace. There's a couple of links that I'm going to include today, article links, and one of them in particular was pretty cool. A little bit of data, but it kind of shows where real estate prices have gone during the last 4 or 5, maybe 6 recessions. So I'll include the link. It's worth checking out. It's not a long, drawn out article. So, but a nice little nugget of information. Not a lot of actual decline. I mean, the Great Recession, 2008, 2009, depending on where you were in the country. Yeah, giant recession. I think that article said it was almost 20% reduction in pricing. And I would suggest that in some markets it was more than that. So, we live here in Portland Metro in an area that's kind of insulated from the peaks and valleys that marketplaces like, say, Las Vegas or Phoenix Metro would experience, where building can just happen, and it can happen in mass. That just doesn't happen here. A giant neighborhood here in new construction is a small part of one phase of a project in some of those other metropolitan markets. So, for that reason, we will continue to have constrained inventory. Continuing to have constrained inventory will absolutely impact whether the degree to which pricing goes up or goes down. Really, in this case, the degree to which it goes up, it'll just be less. Talk to some of the folks in the money world that I talk to, and everybody seems to say, at least a couple of them have said, we think money's going to stay in the 5s. It's possible that it sees 6. It got really close. Right now, I think it's reverted back down into the low fives, at least today. But there was an article I was trying to find. Let's see if I can do this. There it is. Yeah, mortgage rates projected to rise based on the current estimate of Fed funds rate. 30-year fixed money will likely peak between 5 and 5.7. Well, that's kind of where we are right now. I would say that here, let me flip back here. I would say that once money has stayed somewhere for a period of time, that will become the new normal for the public. As the public gets their head wrapped around what that is, and it's not a change, and it's not going to be, well, should we wait and see if it goes back down? If it looks like it's there, that will further continue the pace of the market, or I should say, make for a pause to not happen. So anyway, like I said, there's a couple of good links here to check out. The market continues to hum along. We're certainly busy. That said, I will say this. We are never, ever too busy for you and yours. So if there's anything you need, if there's any questions you might have, if you just want to visit about this, like I said, I love talking about this stuff. So feel free and reach out. Like I said, we're always happy to help. And as I always say, till the next time.